You don't have to literally go kidnap somebody, sell drugs, do a drive-by in order for the street to use you to push its agenda. Aroma of the streets. And I say aroma because, okay, it's not the actual activity of the streets itself, all right, but it reminds you of the streets. When you listen to these things, see these things, indulge in these things, it can give you a feeling of the streets. It can keep you consumed. It can help you with an unhealthy fascination of things related to the streets. That's why I call it the aroma of the streets. And it get overlooked. Look, it's playing its part just as much as the streets. It just got a different role. Flat out. It's still keeping the streets relevant. It's very visible. Everybody know what I'm talking about. It's just being overlooked. Gangsta vlogs. That's one big aroma of the streets, right? You got gangsta vlogs. You got battle rap leagues, right? You got stuff like gangsta rap award shows. You got set repping, stuff like that. All that is aroma of the streets. And I say aroma because, okay, it's not the actual activity of the streets itself, all right, but it reminds you of the streets. You don't have to literally go kidnap somebody, sell drugs, do a drive-by in order for the street to use you to push its agenda. You can become, and a lot of times we all in one way, shape, or form, we all probably have become a human flyer. What a flyer do, all right? A flyer is not the actual event or the actual thing itself. They pass them out, they put them on cars, they hand them up. And that environment that those flyers are in is creating a atmosphere of interest, of sparking people interest, so to speak. That's same thing, a lot of these things, these gangster vlogs, how are you talking about these gangsters and the stuff they do? That's the important thing. Are you talking about it in a way where it make people think twice about this stuff and it make them not want to do it? Or you talk about it in a way that will have people fascinated with it? And look, here's the ultimate kicker right here, because to me, this is probably the most overlooked thing about this thing that I'm going to talk about. Some people may say, I'm not talking about it in a way where I'm glorifying it. Some people may say, I'm not talking about it in a way to try to keep people fascinated with it. Here's the thing. You got to understand who you're talking to. Your intentions may be all in well, but who is the audience? Like if you got a predominantly gangster, hip-hop audience, let's keep it real. A lot of them are already consumed with gangster rap. Whoever the vlogger is, you know what I'm saying? YouTube vlogger, TV show, video show, whatever. Who's your audience? If they already got a fascination with that stuff and you just presenting it to them, you ain't making it seem so uncool that it make them think twice about it. You ain't making it seem so uncool that they wouldn't want to go there, but you just talking about it in general and they already got an unhealthy fascination with it. You feeding that. You being a human flyer, so to speak. No disrespect, no offense or nothing like that. Like I said, I might exclude myself from it at one point. I was a human flyer for the streets. I had to be literally in the streets for the streets to use me to push its agenda. Because the streets don't love and don't care about nobody. The streets is straight up evil and wicked. Now, I know some people probably ask, right? How is it affecting me if I'm not the one in the streets? If I'm not doing the drugs, selling the drugs, or whatever? This how it can affect. This how it is affecting you. It can affect your tolerance level, and it can affect your willingness level. It can make you have a higher tolerance for that stuff. It can make you a co-signer of it. Even if you ain't real, if you promote a gangster rapper, if you celebrate the awards he get, you bump his music, you're doing it. Because they ain't doing nothing but talking about nothing but evil street stuff. Straight up. And it can give you a higher level of tolerance for that type of stuff. It can affect your willingness level to take a stand against that type of stuff. Even if you say you take a stand against, you're not with somebody killing somebody doing drugs and selling drugs, but the other things, the aroma of those things, you will co-sign, you will partake in, you will participate in. And like I said earlier, that's doing its part to strengthen the street stands and the social climate that we live in too. So yes, you are being affected by it. You are partaking in helping to keep the streets cool in the society that we live in. It's just in a different way. That's it. Somebody do all of them. Somebody might do a couple of them. Somebody might just indulge in keeping that aroma, keeping that stench going, and like I said, the aroma, the stench is really, that's what help keep people consume, help people stay fascinated with it, alters people's mood, that aroma, that smell, that stench. And that's what them things is. I mean, when you really get down to it, is and this is not to try to sound harsh, offense, or like some dude who got it all together, but it's basically a big lie that's created that everybody's simmering and festering and just living in. You know, because you know, people get invited on the shows to talk about all this stuff that's basically strengthening the stands of the streets. That's it. You get paid for it, you get recognized. I mean, but what is it really all about? And that's why people start feeling like things ain't gonna change, because this so normal. Even if you somebody who battle with the aroma of the streets, those things and other things, that's the aroma of the streets, right? You can still have your struggle with it and acknowledge that, man, this still ain't right. I know I do it. I know I'm having my days where I'm able to fight it off. I have my days where I relapse. You can still say, look, just because I do it, I know it ain't right. You can still take that stance and continue to take steps towards, you know, doing away with the aroma of the streets, because that's an overlooked thing. That's an issue. It's keeping it cool and acceptable. Straight up, don't overlook that. Don't think it's just another thing. It's not. It's playing its part, just like everything else that's helping to keep the streets cool and acceptable. It is, straight up. Start changing the aroma of the social climate that we live in. Start taking a stand against that. Start turning away from that. See the invisible stuff.